becoming a missionary. I don't know how many of us have had the word missionary. Have you had it? Okay, so what can you do now? What do you think it is? Don't be too serious. Don't be too eager to rise. No, I didn't get it. Let's go on. So that you concentrate. All right. Yeah, please help me. Are you recording? Well, I was thinking I could drop this. Don't worry. All right, people that do what? Okay, people that travel from place to place for the purpose of the gospel. That's it. Okay, good. Yes. Fantastic. Well spoken. Now, the word missionary came, the root word of that word missionary is the word mission. And a mission is an important task that people are given to do, especially one that involves traveling to another country. So, the word mission itself must be understood before you can talk about being a missionary. So when they say you're on a mission, it means you're on an important assignment. Is that okay? You're on an assignment that is very important. If you travel outside the country, or even here, most of the foreign countries that have certain things they do here, it could be things that relate to security, it could be things that relate to culture, it could be things that relate to bilateral relationship between governments. You understand what I'm saying? It could be anything. They call them missions. You understand? So they will say the European mission. You understand? They will say the mission from the United Kingdom. Now it simply means that a group of people or an individual sent to another country or sent to a particular geographical location on an assignment. Alright? Now if we now bring it to the word for today, which is the word missionary. Now, that word missionary itself started with Christians on a mission. Do you understand? Do you understand? Now, you would realize that most of the time, when you have people that are government related, say the ambassador or certain government officials from one country going to another, they don't call them missionaries, but they are on a mission. Is that okay? Am I making sense? All right. They don't call them missionaries, but they are on a mission. But you see, the word missionary was actually used for Christians on an assignment. Christians on the mission. All right, so let me give you a full definition of that. So the word missionary is a Christian who has been sent to a foreign country or a foreign location to teach people about Christianity. So these are standard definitions I'm giving before we go into the details of our lecture for today. Now, I'm taking my time to make you through this for you to understand that the word missionary is not just about a feeling, it's not about what you feel like doing. The core of it is an assignment. Am I making sense? Are you here? Alright, good. The core of it actually is an assignment. A lot of times people miss the assignment and get carried away by different things, different other things that might be attractive. Some might even just be challenging. Some might be difficulties. Some might be things that are like hindrances. But you must understand that the core of mission work is an assignment, a task to be performed. Now, let me give you a simple analogy. I believe that most of you are on different levels in your academic spectrum. I think some 100 level, some 200, some 500, as the case may be. If you remember that day that you resumed on this campus, as what do you call those people that just resumed? As a freshman. So you come as a freshman and you walk in. What was the assignment? What was the assignment? Why did you leave home? That's it. It's not just to study. The core of the assignment is to earn a degree. Am I making sense? Let me make that a bit clear. Do you know any of your friends that you got into school together that no longer on this campus? Anyone? Did they study? Maybe a bit when they came, but did they earn the degree? This class is too cold. You know what I mean? Okay. You know, I always tell people that I don't like it when people are too serious, because when you're too serious, you don't let it. I don't know if there's any scientific explanation to that. I will not attempt to even do that. Two people are scientists. You will flog me. I will not even attempt it. But let me tell you, I've realized that when people are so serious, you don't seem to get it up. But if you relax and let's just go along with it together, you will learn a lot and you will also be able to ask questions. Alright, so when you were coming on this campus, your core assignment was to what? Earn a degree. I remember those days when we were in school. There were quite a number of people that did not make the, what do you call that thing? Grade holder. The GP, good. They did not meet the minimum GP. You see, the school I went to was very magnanimous. If you do not meet the minimum GP, they don't just tell you to go away. They will tell you to go away actually. But they don't just do that. They will give you a certificate. They will give you a certificate of attendance. That at least you can show it to your children. Like you see, Daddy was not that dumb. Daddy passed WAEC and got into the university. Do you understand? I'm trying to make you relax. You're too serious. If you don't relax, I won't get into what I have to say. That's my style. Is that okay? Alright. So you can show it to your children and say, you see that guy actually going to the event, only that Daddy did not make it through. See my certificate of attendance. Unfortunately, that certificate of attendance is not a degree. So, if you want to get a job, you cannot use it. If you present it anywhere, they will say you are still not qualified. Is that okay? When we talk about mission work, or when we talk about becoming a missionary, the first thing you must understand is the assignment. Let me digress a little bit. Imagine they make you an executive in your fellowship. Because now we have just narrowed it down. There's no time to waste. I've already lost like 30 minutes of the time I'm supposed to do, so I'm trying to crash it. Imagine, what did I just say now? Oh, good, you are here. Okay, so imagine they make you an executive in your fellowship, and they make you the technical director. That is, you are in charge of all the cable water. What do you call it? Is that what you call it? What is that? You see? So they make you the technical director, blah, blah, blah. And you have no clue about all these cables. You are in trouble. Is that not true? The day your members who are experienced do not show up, and of course, you know as a leader, you must always be there. So you get there, and your members are not around. What will you do? You just be passing up and down. You carry the microphone, you look at it, you don't know where they got it. You pick up the amplifier, you don't know what to do with it. You are completely messed up. Why? Because you don't know the assignment. However, assuming you will maybe say you are appointed on the same post, and you still do not know anything about cables and all this equipment, and you spend your first 3 weeks learning about it, the day your members do not show, what do? You said no. Why? Because you know the assignment. You know what you have been given to do. Alright. Good. So now let's go on. I want to give you my own definition of who a missionary is. I've tried to make everything brief so that it won't be too cumbersome. A missionary zealous Christian, ready to take the gospel to a foreign, remote, and unreached location. A missionary is a zealous Christian, ready to take the gospel to a foreign, remote, and unreached location. So, by my own definition, a missionary is someone who is zealous. You know what zeal is? Who knows what zeal is? You know, in the class. I think I know this. It's a class. So I can ask questions. I don't have to be the only one that alright, so sorry. Talk now. You wanted to say something. Say what? To have passion. We can have passion and also be passive. To have a drive, yes. You can have a drive and okay, that's very close to it. I'm looking for something else. Yeah, that's quite close. But that's not what I'm looking for. So to be eager, yes. But there's a word I'm looking for. It starts with E. Good. Oh, you people are good. Fantastic. Zeal. In modern day terminology, we call it enthusiasm. You see, a missionary is someone with a double dose of enthusiasm for the gospel. Let me take that again. A missionary is someone with a double dose of enthusiasm for the gospel. How many of us have preached before? We have preached to anybody before. Maybe your sister at home, or your brother, or your friend, or someone you do not know. Okay. Now, how easy was it for you to get up and start up that conversation about the gospel that day? Just remember that. How easy was it? Was it very easy? Or was it a talk about something that you don't do it? Something you do it, don't do it. Was it like that? Did you have that battle? What if I don't even say it correctly? What if he laughs at me? What if he thinks that I am a fool or something? Did you have that battle? So, but you overcame it and went. There are different levels of enthusiasm you can have for the gospel. There is the first level of, I'm not going it, I must tell other people about Christ. That's the first level of it. There is the next level of, I have the duty. Maybe you have had some words charging you to say, look, you have a duty, you must preach the gospel. You feel like you have the duty. You have done a step forward. But when the stage you get to, like Apostle Paul said, walk free by preaching of the gospel. I think then, in fact, if you don't do it, you feel miserable. You feel something is wrong with you. You feel like you are, God is looking at me now, watching me. Do you understand? That is another level of enthusiasm. Now, every Christian that is genuine must have a level of enthusiasm for the gospel. You must have a level of enthusiasm, a level of drive. Worry my brother's word. You must have a level of drive, a degree of passion inside you to want to share the gospel with another person. May I tell you that you know there's something wrong with your faith? Because you see, the faith that we have received as Christians is not a docile or passive faith. It's a faith that is alive. So people call it the living faith. It's alive. It's like an organism. It's like an organism has been injected into you that grows. Do you understand? So it will express itself. The gospel will inside it will express itself in different ways. Do you understand? And one of the expressions of the gospel is a drive, is a push, a passion to make you tell other people about it. Now the degree of the passion now differs. Are you with me? But you must have a bit of it. Anyway, anyhow, you must have a bit of it. So now, let's now move on to my definition. I want to spend a bit of time on that. A missionary is a serious Christian, someone with a drive. And not only just a drive to work for God, a drive to take the gospel out. A drive, a passion, enthusiastic about taking the gospel out to other people. One of the challenges of modern Christianity is what I call payment, salary. It's funny, and I know this might sound a bit confusing to some of you, but just follow me. There is nothing wrong for Christian workers to be paid. If you are doing it full time or whatever, but there is nothing wrong with it. But it should not be like an official career. The foundation of any Christian service or any Christian work must be the passion to please God. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I say, I want to go and become a pastor because I've tried to get a job, I can't find a job. Maybe God has called me to become a pastor. That's why He allowed me to find it. Have you heard that before? You might not. I have. Do you understand what I'm saying? You might not have had such, but I have. I'm telling you. I've had such a statement before. That maybe God is calling me to do this. That's why He has not allowed me to find a job. I don't know what to say to that. There must be a degree of passion inside you, a degree of drive to achieve something. Is that true? A degree of drive, a degree of passion, a degree of enthusiasm to take the gospel out. No, it's not so much about adventure. I'm trying to clarify a number of things. But after this, I'm going to just go into points by point and now. But if I don't lay this foundation right, I will not have done justice to this. Something. Mission work is not about adventure. Somebody one day joined our ministry. And I asked him, sir, why did you decide to join this ministry of ours? Because I used to tell I didn't think our ministry is so exciting as it were, because majorly what we do is village evangelism. And you go there, there is nothing exciting about it as it were, except if you have that drive inside it to take the gospel out. Outside that, no excitement. You get there, you are in villagers, and then you have to go and try and live with them to encourage them to come for your message. Do you understand? So there are different things that are there. However, I asked this person, I said, why did you join? And he said, oh, I love adventure. I said, do you think this is about being adventurous? You just go to a new place, or you are just somewhere in the bush and you can't be located on the map. You say, wow, I'm just completely in the wild. No. Mission work is not about adventure. Apostle Paul said, do you think I thought that we start with Jesus? The human being. Do you think it was a joke? I will still tell you, as we go on, we will get to the dangers of mission work, the challenges of mission work. We'll get to all that as time permits us. But I want to lay this foundation very well. Mission work is not about adventure. You don't do missions because you like to see new places or visit new places. Some people say, I don't like staying in a place, I like to move around. That is not a license for you to go and do mission work. Are you with me? Mission work is about the passion, the drive, the zeal, and enthusiasm to take the gospel out. That must first of all settle upon anybody that wants to become a missionary. I'm talking to you now, not just as students, but as people who probably will become missionaries tomorrow. Who knows? So I'm not just sharing information with you, I'm sharing my passion. That's why I could have made it very academic and delivered it like a paper. You understand? But I'm also sharing my passion with you for a reason. You, my head of one day. Who knows? You might not even think it now. But who knows whether you will sleep tonight and just have one dream. And after school you find yourself in a Papua New Guinea, somewhere on the map that nobody will be able to locate. Amen. Alright, good. So, someone who has a zeal to take the gospel out. So, it's about the gospel, majorly. Remember what I said? Mission. The mission is about a task. Do you understand? The task in this matter is what? Talk to me. Okay, good. You see, you can't sleep in my class. It's not possible. I won't allow you. as the facilitator of this session, I will make you stand up. Just one close like this, you are on your feet. I love to do that. So, if you tempt me, I will naturally fall for the presentation. Alright, so now the task here is the gospel. We're going to get to a place where I will talk to you about what is called pseudo ministry. Things that can take the place of the gospel during mission work, and the missionary will not know. When I talk about it, some of you will just understand it. You'll be able to relate to it, and I trust God will be able to do that. So, and it's not just now about just taking the gospel, but it's taking the gospel out to a foreign place, a place that is not familiar to you. Do you understand? Now, a foreign place can be, you can be in, this is Ogun State, I mean. There are foreign places in Ogun State, places that you have no connection with. Is that okay? Do you know that this same Ogun State, we discovered an area where people have children. In that place, there is no school, no church, no mosque, nothing. People wake up in the morning, they have several children, and they still live like stone age days in this same Ogun State. I was there to discover it. I drove on the footpath. They actually drove our car on a footpath. Only God knows how long before we got there. And what people do is wake up in the morning, like those days, you know, like the subsistent days, wake up in the morning, take their children to the farm, walk all day, come back in the evening. And they live like that for only God knows how long. And one day we just bump into them. That is a remote place. That is a foreign place, as it were. Because a lot of times when we think about, when we hear foreign, we think it's another country. Not necessarily. There can be foreign places in your own state, in your own environment. When you take the gospel to a place that you are not familiar with, you understand? A place that you are not used to. When you take the gospel there, what you are doing is that you are doing mission work. In your own country, yes, we are in Nigeria, but a foreign place to you could be the north. You understand? There are missionaries, people doing mission work, people taking the gospel out to the north, missionaries to the north. So there can be a foreign place in the north. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. So it is about a zealous Christian who is enthusiastic, taking the gospel out. The task here is the gospel to a foreign or remote or unreached location. All right, so let's go into the Bible. Acts of Apostles chapter 13. Acts chapter 13. Are you there? Are you there? Okay, so let's read verses 1 to 3.